possible. Show the world the impossible is possible. There's a moment when you understand. You don't gotta follow all the plans. It's time to open up your hands.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. All right, we're going to get started. Jump right on in. If you're in the chats this morning, say hello. Let me know you're here. And but we're going to get started. So on yesterday, the Cobb County School District Board of Education had a special called meeting. It wasn't an emergency meeting as suggested by the media, but again, it is a special called meeting and to discuss Cognia. And as you know, Cognia, just to give you a little history and a little background, is the accrediting body for schools, school districts, not just locally here in Georgia, but also around the world. They're an international company. And but they also accredit many of our STEM programs in our schools from elementary, middle, high school. So Cognia does a lot more than just accrediting local school districts and local schools. So as of last year, Dr. Howard, Sharice, and I, we sent a letter to Cognia requesting support for our fractured board. And anybody who's been watching for any length of time know that we are at an impasse. And so, and while at an impasse when we're in meetings, I should say. And so, we requested some assistance in that regards. Cognia also provides training in regards to local school boards and things of that nature. So again, reaching out to the accrediting body, and it'd be much like a hospital. Hospitals are accredited as well, and most public institutions have a accrediting body that sanctions and also is the instrument for engagement for improvement. And so we just want to make sure that we put that out there. And in this case, based on the letter that Dr. Howard, Sharice, and I sent to Cognia, in also, I'm assuming it's a reference of approximately 50 letters from the community, ranging from a variety of different things. Cognia decided to do a special review on last year. And so they did a special review, and we received those findings in November. I believe it was our November board meeting, where we received that review and what it was, the findings based on that review. So just to give you a little background again on the process of the actual review, Cognia comes in over several days. They speak with staff members, principals. The district is responsible for basically pleading their case. So Cognia says, here are the areas that are deficient to some degree, and now give us your evidence. And so the district did that. I'm not sure exactly what the evidence was that the district provided Cognia, but they provided them, and based on that, a report was made. They interviewed Board of Education members, again, principals, community members at the selection of the superintendent and his team. And so we were able to put our best foot, quote unquote, forward. And Cognia was then from there able to create a synopsis or a report of improvement or a plan of improvement. And, the Cognia team is a team of volunteer educational professionals from around the world. So I want to make sure that we're clear in who actually is doing the review. Superintendents. I think we had a superintendent, so maybe a couple superintendents actually on this particular team, but superintendents and education professionals, area superintendents, principals, teachers, educational professionals from around the world come to these different reviews in the different places that they're doing reviews. Whether it be a special review or whether it be your, the review for your 5-year accreditation, they come and they look at documentation, data, people who come and actually give testimony and things of that nature. And so as a result, we had a document that was presented by Cognia on back in November. It was presented to the Board of Education, I believe, and since then, based on some of those findings, the superintendent felt like they were unfairly or just not accurate. I should just put it like that, not accurate. And so part of the process is when the superintendent or the Board of Education, in this particular case, it's an operational concern. He reached out to Cognia and said, hey, we have some concerns with some of the things that's in the report. And as a result of that, they reassessed the report. And yesterday they came to the Board of Education to give their new findings. And as a result of that, Mark Elgart, who is the CEO of Cognia, right here out of the Metro Atlanta area, came and spoke to the Board of Education, much like how he spoke to the Board of the Gwinnett County Board of Education last week in their board retreat. So he came and spoke to us in regards to the reassessment of the findings. And so as a result of those reassessments, what it really boils down to is really the main concern that we have always stressed from the very beginning. The Board of Education needs support. And so that is what the findings of the special review basically boil down to. So all of the other operational things, just not enough to be sufficient to have in a report. And so according to Mark Elgart, and basically, said again, educational professionals from around the world who came and reviewed, sometimes they don't get it right. I don't know, but that is what the gist of the conversation was. And so as a result, there were two findings that were left, and that was basically around board governance and ensuring that our Board of Education operates in a way that best meets the needs of all of our constituents here in Cobb County. And so that was the gist of the report. And so you will probably see many articles in either the AJC, Axios, MDJ, who else? Cobb Courier, in regards to what is happening. And so when you see those articles, just a little more context so that you fully understand what we're talking about. And those of you may be familiar with like SACS. SACS is the name that most people, when we think of accreditation, that brings to your mind. But SACS is a part of Cognia now. And so Cognia is the parent company for our accrediting body. And so, and of course, Cognia, he came, Dr. Elgart came and he gave the history of Cognia. Again, a very old company with a history of supporting the improvement of academics. So that, and he also went on to talk about, the work that they do around the world in regards to accrediting. And so a very reputable company. And so as a result of the reassessment, there were some changes made to the actual report, and that's what was reported yesterday. So I'm trying to see if I missed anything in specific. No. Well, the letter that Cognia presented to the Board of Education on yesterday and our superintendent will be placed on the Cobb County School District's website, probably in the same place where all the other Cognia stuff has been, where everything has been placed. There, Christine, what is the procuring cause of agenda items not making it on the agenda? Are they put to a vote before making agenda? Thank you, Christine. That's a good question. We're going to get to that because I know a lot of people do have concerns in regards to that. Let's see, what else is there? So, yep, based on the reassessment, that's where we're at. Just know that there is legislation in place. I believe one of our senators, Senator Tippins, who has been the education chairman for some years, up until recently, has legislation in place that kind of targets accreditation. So I don't know if politics has anything to do with this. Well, let me not say that, because politics has everything to do with everything these days. But just know that there's some other outlying factors or some factors out there that help us to get to this place. But again, they did come speak to the Board of Education in Gwinnett County last week sometime. And of course, they come to address the Cobb County School District. And as a result of this, but let me be clear, even from the very beginning, I don't believe anybody ever believed that the accreditation of the Cobb County School District was going to be in any jeopardy ever. I didn't believe that. a couple of our other colleagues didn't never believe that, and I believe Dr. Elgard also spoke to that early on as well. That these special reviews are for a measure for improvement, and so hopefully we will have some improvement based on what was presented on yesterday after a reassessment of the initial documentation. So I'll be anxious to see how we move forward in those regards. Okay, I believe the question, let's see if I can pull it back up, Christine. What is the procuring cause of agenda items not making it on the agenda? Are they put to a vote before making agenda? So no, not necessarily put to a vote, I would say. Um, the way that it has been presented to me, and I was around, this is prior to me being on the board, but I remember when Chairman Chastain, then Chairman Chastain, was had made a series of policy changes that started that I would probably consider started the tension in regards to removing board comments, things of that nature. And then I believe there was some concern around. We usually don't do a lot of those, from what I'm told, but then we started doing a lot of those. Resolutions and things, and then couldn't get to some consensus on resolutions, and then there was some board items that was being requested. So the original policy was that 3 board members could request or 1 board member can request an agenda item, and if the chairman and the vice chair and the superintendent denied the request, then that board member could go to 2 other board members to petition the board to reconsider and have that item placed on the agenda. And because the minority is 3, that would mean that the agenda item would more than likely be placed on the agenda. So to ensure that that was changed to ensure that 4 people would have to agree to the agenda item being placed on the agenda. So in essence, those 3 board members, or 1 board member with the support of 2 additional board members, would need to reach out to someone within the majority to have an agenda item placed on the agenda. And so that is that process. And what happens is there's an internal poll. Like, for example, I place an item on the agenda or request something, and then I'm told by the chairman no. And this has happened as of recently. In fact, I requested something in February for the March agenda, and it was after speaking with chairman a couple weeks ago, he told me absolutely no. And then begin to tell me reasons why, and then how we could necessarily get whatever I was requesting to the general public in different avenues. And so I'll be following up with him to see if he was able to speak with staff in regards to the request. But if I so desired, I would then approach three other board members and say, hey, this is what my agenda item is for and why I want to present it. And then if I had consensus, if I just decided, I reached around and got 4 or 5 people to say yes, that it will be okay to have that on the agenda, then at that turn I would call back the board chairman and say, hey, listen, I have consensus of 4 or 5 board members. He would reach out to confirm, and then at that point the agenda item would be placed on the request will be placed on the agenda. So that's how it works. So I understand your concern. I actually brought this up to our former attorney, Clem Doyle, when I first came on the board in regards to the policy, because in essence, having 4 board members to agree to something outside of a board member, in my mind, constituted a meeting and an action. And so I still have problems with the agenda as written, simply because in my mind, it does, because I've now reached consensus with 4 board members, which would constitute a quorum, and we have agreed that it was okay to do something that constitutes, in my mind, an action. And then so I've yet to get clarity on that, and I'll probably bring that back up again with the chairman and our attorneys and the superintendent and the board members again to reevaluate that particular policy, because again, just looking at it very simplistic, that in my mind has always been a problem. But it says, what else we have? Thank you, Christine, for the conversation today. What would you do to see? What would you like to see happen to bring unity, positive working relationship to the board? It was mentioned by Cognia. Yes, so um, I have reached out to probably 6 or 7 board members on a regular basis, and be clear. I want to make sure we're clear. I believe that most of us have a good relationship outside of the board, and I'm speaking for myself. I have a good relationship with mostly all board members. There's no contention between myself and most board members. And so, but I do believe it's going to take mutual respect in order for that to happen, and that it is okay to have a differing of opinions and a different because Cobb is changing. So let me be clear. Cobb is changing. The demographics are changing. Communities of interest are changing. Ideas are changing. And so with that, you're going to have challenging of different thought processes and ideology. And so with that, I think that's fair, because when you have this kind of tension, you're going to see some growth. And we're starting to see this groundswell of growth, to support change in Cobb County. And so this is inevitable. I'm not sure that that there's any way to avoid that. And I think everyone recognizes that. So I am hoping that through mutual respect, that we can come to consensus that it is okay to have differing of opinions. Because again, at the end of the day, the board majority still has majority. So even if my opinion is different than the board majority, they still have the ability to override the differing of opinion. So hopefully that understanding will move forward, and hopefully personalities and egos will move out of the way in a way in which we can actually get to doing the work of supporting all the student success of all students in our school district. So yes, but again, I think there needs to be a conversation, even if it doesn't happen in the life of this particular board, the 7 members you currently see, which I think is very problematic, because you're going to have people who leave the board and not necessarily have resolution to the concerns that they have had. And I think as human beings and as people, we have a responsibility to be better than that to our neighbor. Because again, whether you look at it or not, whether I live in South, Northwest, or East Cobb, we're all citizens of Cobb, and we're all neighbors of each other here in Cobb County. So I'm hoping to see that we can be better in those regards. Let's see. What would you like to see happen? I got answered that one. Let's see. Thank you. Does the policy align with Robert's rule? Well, again, the policy needs to be reviewed. And so thank you, Christine. I agree with you on that. But the policy is the policy. And again, if the policy stipulates a certain way, I believe that prevails over Robert's rules. But yes, I understand exactly where you're going. That's actually point 2. Let's see. Thank you. Would you like to work? Oh, would like to work with you on bringing the board back together. The board must be set as a yes, please. Whatever you have, please bring it to me. You can bring it to any of the 7 board members, and actually just send us all an email. I am open to next steps and how we move forward and progress, because again, when there's contention, as you're trying to get things done, there's this thought process that, oh, they'll slow roll you. And I've had a board member meet with me recently to discuss that. And while that may be evident in some places, I will be optimistic and say, no, we're moving forward at the speed that is necessary for us to get things done. And so, yes, I am hoping that we can move forward in a way that is going to be in the best interest of all of our students here in Cobb County. And so if you have suggestions and some ideas that you would like to send our way, I'm sure we're open to receiving from the citizens, those of you who elect the 7 of us to serve the Cobb County School District. So yes, please, I would love that. And that's open. That's anybody here who may view this now or may view it in the future. We are open to. I am open, and I'm open to even presenting some of those ideas to the Board of Education. All right. Okay, so I think that's just about it. I really don't have much else because the meeting was very short and to the point. And so, again, our accreditation is not in any peril, nor was it ever. These are the words of Mark Elgart. And so hopefully that will put some ease to those that have had the mindset or went with the narrative of fear that, you know, we were going, whatever happened in other county districts would happen to us, and property values and all that fear that was placed out there in the beginning. Just be reassured that that was never the case. And so, but we do need to move forward as a board and be better. So hopefully we get that understanding from the reassessment of the report. I spoke about being a bills at a meeting. We'll resend email and community support team appointed. Thank you. Thank you. Please do. I appreciate it. And because the way I look at it, we serve the community, board members, we serve the communities that we are elected to. And so I believe this is going to take community involvement and engagement. I'm not sure who all believes that or carries that same sentiment or ideology, but we're serving the people. And this is the people school. This is a public school system. And so I am one that believes in parent engagement and community engagement, family engagement at all levels. And so as my constituents, those that actually elect me in post 3, and also those of you that are around the county that I support, because again, while I am elected, I'm a board member for, you know, all 17, however many schools high schools we have now, 110 schools or whatever, and 108 thousand plus students and the 18,000 employees. I'm a board member to all of you, to every constituent, every grandparent, every citizen, parent, whoever, business owner. We serve all of you. We serve all of you. And so please get involved. Please let your voice be heard, and please reach out with any support that you may have to help support us as we continue to support our children here in the Cobb County, within the Cobb County School District. So thank you. In regards to that, thank you for being calm, voice of reason. Thank you, Christine. Thank you for joining today. I appreciate it. And again, one of the things we are in the middle of, this is off topic, but very important. We're in the middle of qualifying week. So those that would like to serve our community and serve our Board of Education, there are opportunities available. I believe that we have candidates that have announced in all posts, the 3 posts that are 2, 4, and 6 that are open for re-election or for election this year. I believe we have candidates that have announced in all 3 of those posts. And so thank you to those of you who have decided to enter into the race to serve our students, to serve our county. Because I know it is a lot to ask, especially in this heightened environment of whatever this is, and of contention. And so those of you that have stepped forward, you know, that is brave of you, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And so, and if you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and talk. You know, I'm here for everybody. So thank you. And if there aren't any other questions or concerns, we're going to log off. Of course, I will re-air this same video, this live portion later this evening. For those that are at work and are unable to watch during this time frame, you'll be able to watch it later. And then, of course, you know that it will be posted to several social media pages and to the YouTube page, Coffee Talk with Trey, so that you'll be able to review it again at a later time or at your convenience. In regards to that, and as always, if you have any further questions and you want to reach out, you can either enter it in the chat and I can respond via chat or the comment section, or you may call me or email me as always. Trey Hutchins, post 3, and my email address is thutchins, THUTCHINS .boardmember@cobbk12.org, which is my school district email address. Those of you that reach out via my personal email address is Trey, TRE, the number 4, cobbschools@gmail.com. I'm all, as always, I still receive emails to that email as well. And if you need to reach out to me, I do not know the number offhand. I know it is a 470 number. There is, if you go to the Cobb County School District Board of Education page, cobbk12.org, and find board members, you'll find my 470 phone number, and you can call me there should you have any further questions, comments, concerns, and we can move forward. All right. Thank you again. Any further questions, comments? Nope. If not, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining us. And as always, I will be reporting the day after any board meeting, whether it's our regularly scheduled meeting, an emergency meeting, or a special called meeting. I'll be reporting to give you a recap. And again, this was about our Cognia accreditation. Dr. Elgart, the CEO of Cognia, came and gave us a reassessment and gave us a final report. So wanted to make sure that you are aware of that. And if you want a copy of the report, it is also on the Cobb County School District webpage, www.cobbk12.org. And you can find it there. Again, thank you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And until we see each other again, y'all be safe and take it easy. Love you all.